Before we even get into the makeup, the first step is skin prep. So for cleanser, I used the CeraVe Foaming Facial Cleanser. After that, I went in with the Esfolio Green Tea Essence Mask Sheet. Then for some moisturizer, I used the CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Cream, and I would follow up with sunscreen, but I'm not going anywhere else for the day, so I don't want to use my sunscreen. First up is primer. I'm going in with the Essence Fix and Last Primer. I really like this primer because it's pretty hydrating. Guys, I swear I just started this one because I finished like 2 of these so far. I know that when I use this, my makeup lasts decently, like it's not bad. Now for the eyes, I don't use an eye primer, I use concealer instead. So I'm going in with the Lip Bars Quick Concealer in the shade Cinnamon. I feel like getting an eyeshadow primer is just another thing to buy, and I'm a college student. I don't need anything else to buy. So today we're using the Morphe 35U palette, going in with the shade Dawn to Dusk. I'm just gonna put this all over my eyelid, so in my crease, above my crease, all over my eyelid, inner corner, outer corner, literally everywhere. And I'm just using a fluffy brush for this part. My favorite eyeshadow brushes are the Wet n Wild ones, but for a second I thought they were like discontinuing them and I was really scared, but turns out they weren't. I don't really know what happened actually. Next, I'm going in with the shade In the Deep, kind of all over it to just sort of give it more brownness to it. 9 times out of 10 when I'm doing my eyeshadow, I'm just looking at the palette and throwing stuff on my eyes and hoping that it looks good. And somehow this looked good. So now for the shade Sunseeker, I'm going to focus this on my crease. And one thing I do when I'm throwing together eyeshadow looks is I start focusing it on my eyelid first and then I blend it into my crease. I always feel like this eye I can see better, because in this setup that I'm in, like it's really hard to see this side, so I'm actually not responsible for what's going on this side. Now to give this a little bit more depth, I'm going in with the shade in the shade. Yeah, so the name is actually In the Shade, but I'm gonna focus this on the outer corner. Then to make this a little bit more deeper, I go in with the shade Sahara Nights, which is a black, and I'm really focusing it right here because it's black eyeshadow and I don't want to go too overboard. And I think that's really just my method for eyeshadow. Like I kind of get the pigment down and then I start blending it. Then once the black's kind of placed, I go in with the first brush and just sort of like buff it out so it's not super harsh, because black eyeshadow can be really tricky. Yeah, this is like the base for everything. So I'm gonna clean up the edges with some concealer. Same concealer I used for eyeshadow prep. I'm gonna clean up the edges and then we're gonna go in and do the cut crease. Now for the inner corner, I'm putting some concealer on the back of my hand because I find it's easier to control where you're putting it like this. And going in with the really tiny brush, I dip into the concealer and you can kind of see where I'm going to place it because I do it based off of my crease line. Then I go in with more of the concealer and start actually like filling in where I'm gonna put my shimmer shade. And I like to cut my crease because it gives the shimmer, like especially if I want it to be really pigmented, it gives it something to stick onto. And the shape for your eyeshadow for the cut crease does not have to be the same, especially if your eyes are not the same. I just follow what my eyes do naturally, and my eyes naturally are not symmetrical. And I don't know, I'm a baddie either way. When I get to the end, I just start blending it out into the shadow. If you ever just do a little too much, you can always go back in with the shadow that you use in the outer corner and sort of flick it towards it, which is what I do anyways, because it just gives this really nice blended look. So I'm just taking the brush I used for the black, and I didn't dip back into the pan. I kind of just hoped there was enough on the brush, but not too much, and I just start flicking it. Going in with the shade Just Watch and a flat brush, I'm just tapping it all over where I had the concealer. I'm not really focused on it being super even and everywhere, like I'm just getting it on my eyelid. Then going in with the shade Terra Firma in the same places as Just Watch. And last, going in with the shade Shimmering Sand because I wanted this to be a little bit some more gold in it. For where the outer corner in this shimmer meet, it's a lot of just kind of going back and forth between your shimmer brush and the brush that you used for your outer corner to just make sure that it's all nice and blended and seamless in a way. A quick thing before we switch over, eyeshadow under the eye. It makes the eyeshadow actually look like it belongs on your face. Now for eyeliner, I'm using the YSL Crush Liner to tightline my waterline. Now going in with eyeliner, again, following natural shapes. So you can kind of see here the way that my eye just naturally has sort of like a wing. I just go into that actually. Bam. Going in with mascara. My favorite mascara is the Essence Curl and Volume Lash Princess, just because of the applicator. I think this applicator is so good and my lashes always look really amazing. But the reason why I do mascara even though I'm going to put lashes on is, one, because I want people who aren't allowed to wear lashes to see what this will look like with just mascara, because I used to be in the boat where I wasn't allowed to wear lashes but I still did my eyeshadow, and I don't know, it felt weird, and you would only see people on social media who like were wearing falsies or lash extensions and stuff. And hey, my mom was a real one for not letting me touch lashes, because I can't say my lashes would be as healthy as they are now if I was doing all that. Now moving on to the base. First I'm going in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow. This, in this foundation I'm about to use after, best duo. So for this I just kind of put it all over my face. And I just sort of pat this all over my skin. I want it to be like an even base. But don't worry really about like any brush strokes left over, because the foundation I'm going in with after, I will use a beauty blender. And I wait to do my ears like last, just because I always have like AirPods in when I'm doing my makeup. This is what the first layer of e.l.f. Halo Glow is looking like. Now, the secret sauce is the House Labs Triclone Foundation. These two together, magic. So for this, I put it on the back of my hand. I do like a pump and a half, warm it up, and do a little tapping situation, because I don't want to put too much on like one side of my face. I want it to be light, you know, I want this to be like a more buildable situation, so if I need more foundation on one section of my face, I can just add more there. But now I'm going to go with the beauty blender. This is a Juno & Co microfiber beauty blender. It's really good. And it's damp, by the way. It's like huge. But now I'm just going to go in and blend all of this foundation out. Now for under eye concealer, I'm using the Thread Beauty Cover It Concealer. I'm running out. So this is like my concealer placement using the beauty blender. Blending everything out pretty much in the order that I placed it. And then I also go over my nose because I'm going to contour this in just a second. Forehead, I'm like trying to focus it on the T-zone rather than like going to my actual forehead. And if I feel like I've gone like too high, I'll use like another end of the beauty blender, sort of trying to, you know, do some damage control. And then under my chin, around my mouth. Now for contour, I'm going in with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer. I'm sure there's like actual cream contours out there that I could use, but it's multi-purpose. Well, it's really not multi-purpose because I can only use it as a contour. I can't use it as concealer, but oh well. I always do like this 3-dot method because I find that it gives me enough. Like it gives me enough product to contour my face, and if it doesn't, I can always just add more. That's the thing with makeup. I feel like starting off lighter and with a lower amount of product is always better because you can always add more, but it's always a little bit more difficult to, you know, take the excess off. So Wet n Wild has some of the best brushes. I love them. I'm obsessed. I wish they had like a bigger like kit, like more kits. Like if they had just like an eyeshadow brush kit, immediately yes. Y'all, I'm like doing this and I can't even like see. So for nose contour, I'm gonna like take a screenshot and draw how I try to do it. So I try and do like a V here, and then I always do another V like here. So I'm gonna go in with the Lip Bar Quick Conceal again, mostly because the brush on it is really tiny, so it's easier to do like less product. I'm gonna leave it for a second. While we're waiting for it to get a little tacky, we're gonna do blush. So for blush, I love the LYS Glow Blush Sticks. We're using it in the shade Courageous. It's just such a beautiful formula. The payoff is amazing. I love it. Using the lip bar, I think this is a blush brush. Using the fluffier side, we're just gonna blend that out. I usually use this other side, but I find that the fluffier side actually does a better job. Moving on to powder, I'm using the Wet n Wild translucent loose powder. This is one of my favorite powders just because I feel like it's really brightening, and I focus this on my under eyes and like the bright parts of my face. So I'm using a powder puff, and whatever was in the lid, I just sort of like coat it, dab some excess. So I focus this on like what I want to be brightened, so really just the center parts of my face. Now I will say I dip back in to the powder, tap off excess again, because you never want to do too much, because even though this is translucent, you can still overdo it. I'm going in with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation. This is a pressed powder, and that's what I do. And then I kind of go where I put the blush. Pretty much where I didn't hit with the translucent is where I put this pressed powder. Yeah. Now after I do the setting spray, I go in with the powder version of some of the products. So the blush, using the Makeup Revolution X Tammy face palette. Going in and just adding some more blush. I'm a big blush person. I love me some blush. I feel like it just makes my face more lively. And then going between the bronzer and the contour, tapping off excess, and going here, touching it on my forehead, of course. Pretty much in the same three motion. I feel like when I do my foundation and powder and stuff, it just gets on my eyebrows, so I feel like it's just better for me to wait. Going in with the LA Girl Brow Pomade in Soft Black. And I just sort of follow my natural brow shape, and I really focus on like the center of the brow before I start focusing on the like edges. But once I kind of have most of the product off, I sort of go like below and above. I do a little line because I think the line at the front of her brow is super cute, and then I start to kind of soften it by flicking it up a little bit, brush it through, brush it up. Going in with the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. This is a pretty good brow gel. I don't know how I still have more left. I feel like I've been using this for a while. But while I just kind of give that some time to just chill, set my brows in place a little, I go ahead and start on the other eye doing the same thing. My eyebrows are different shapes and sit differently on my face, but again, I just follow the way that they naturally go. Going in with highlighter, I use the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter. I've had this for a very long time, and pan has not been hit. Best investment for a while, even though you can't tell because I haven't hit pan. And putting this on high points. I really like to bring my highlighter and incorporate it into my eyeshadow. Again, I just feel like it kind of pulls everything together, so I'm also going to put it inner corner. This is a vibe. Okay, this is what the base is giving. I'm going to do my hair really quick. I don't even have to do my hair. Well, I kind of do. I just have to like redo my little puffs. And this is the finished look. I think it's a vibe. This was a recreation of a look I did on TikTok, so if you want to be the first to see what kind of looks I'm putting out, follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Those are the first two places that will see like what look I'm doing. But I am going to be posting more on my YouTube. I'm holding myself to it this year. I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of things I want to incorporate. It's going to kind of include me, you know, I'm a student. It's my last year of college. I really want to do some vlogs, some more college content, and incorporate some book content in a pretty fun way. So stay tuned for all that, but that's pretty much all I have. Yeah, let me know in the comments any kinds of videos you guys want to see from me, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.